What's up, guys? Brent Hess here with Cagezilla Unchained, brought to you by the Wild Style Network. We are here with one of our exciting featherweight fighters here coming up on Cagezilla84, April 26th, Antonio Fuller. How you doing today, my man? Thank you for joining us.
Doing good. Doing good. How about you, sir?
Doing really good. Now, I know who you are, mostly because your father, who trained under my father in Aikido for many years, and I actually knew you when you were a baby, man. But for our Cagezilla Unchained fans who are still kind of getting to know you a bit, fill us in on a little bit of your upbringing, your background, if you want to, and kind of what led up to this point in your martial arts journey.
Well, I've been training martial arts my whole life, off and on. I've been getting into like other things since I was young, like basketball. Main thing was skateboarding. I was big into skateboarding. And I've been taking this martial arts thing seriously for about like 3 years now. Been competing and everything.
Yeah, yeah. And how did you start in martial arts, or give us a little bit of that?
So I actually I started with Aikido. Um, your dad, Mike Hess, and you taught me. Um, Started with karate, and then I did some jujitsu and wrestling once I was a little older, maybe like 13 to like 16. Then I was just like all into skateboarding for like a couple years.
Yeah, and you don't still skateboard, do you, man? I mean, that's like a sport where you can break that wrist real quick.
Uh, I actually skated last weekend. I don't skate as much. I just do it for fun more now. But yeah, I used to be super into like jumping down stairs, jumping off whatever, jumping upstairs.
Oh man, I guess when you're good at it, it's not as risky, right? But if for a guy like me or John in the production room here, yeah, I don't know if that would work out too well. Skateboarding before an MMA fight, I just don't know if we could stay healthy, knees and elbows, man.
The secret is to be good at falling, not be good at skating.
Hey, there you go. Yeah, that might be the trick, man. Learn how to fall correctly, right? Well, that's cool. Now, uh, you know, we'll get to your upcoming fight. I was at your last fight, though. You know, and like I say, we're gonna get to your upcoming fight against Zach. But I was at your last fight, and before we get to your upcoming fight, tell us a little bit some of your takeaways from your last fight, because you know I watched that fight. You had some moments of greatness. Ultimately, I thought you were a little undersized against a guy who was cutting a lot of weight to get to the 155-pound mark. What did you learn from that fight that you can kind of bring into this fight? And did that have anything to do with your decision to move from 155 down to 145?
100%. Like though, I was not expecting those 155ers to be that big. Um, it's so I just learned I need to cut weight. Another thing I learned, I need to stop keeping everything so like elegant and like pretty. Like that's mostly from like Muay Thai training because that style is very elegant and you get points for being elegant.
Right.
Um, so now I'm down to get nasty, get dirty,
Yeah.
and fight hard.
Well, speaking of getting nasty and getting dirty, Zach, Honest Abe Vincent is no stranger to doing just that inside of our Cagezilla cage. I always feel like he's bleeding at some point in his fights. Everyone kind of knows him by his tall Abe Lincoln hat and his beard that he wears on fight day. And tell us, Antonio, what do you know about Honest Abe? I know he's got some footage probably out there. What do you know about him, and what kind of energy are you bringing heading into your debut featherweight fight here coming up at Cagezilla84?
I know that he's a good striker. Uh, he has a couple more fights than me under his belt, so he's pretty experienced. Um, but yeah, I would say yeah, the striking is the main threat, and I'm not too worried about that. Uh, Yeah, I'm ready to fight, get dirty. If he wants to get dirty, I'm down to get dirty, get nasty.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think both of you guys matched up together. A great, exciting fight. Both of you guys strikers. Both of you guys good kickers, actually. I noticed he in his last fight he had a great lead leg round kick. I know you have great kicks as well with your taekwondo background and everything like that. So man, it's going to be an exciting striking battle. We'll see. Sometimes we anticipate that and it ends up being a grappling war up against the fence or something, right? But I anticipate a nice striking battle. You being a taller, bigger guy, him being kind of short, a little more compact. But definitely an explosive featherweight fight here coming up on Cagezilla84 that I'm looking forward to. Now, a couple questions from our fan zone, man. It's something new we're doing. It's kind of like bringing in some of our audience that look up to you guys to kind of that have questions for you guys, and they kind of send them into us, and we pass them along to you guys to answer for them. So, our first question from our fan zone: what does a typical day of training look like for you leading up to competition or leading up to a fight?
Typical day, I would I either lift or kickbox in the morning, and then right after the morning sessions are usually like 2 to 3 hours. So I'll lift or kickbox, but I always do the jujitsu with that, and then I rest, and then I have my nighttime session, which is also like 2 to 3 hours. So I'll do my MMA training, and then I'll either do kickboxing or jujitsu. Sometimes I'll do both. So I train twice a day, every day.
2 a days. All right, man. Yeah, nothing like 2 a days. You got to have a rest day in there too at some point, right? What day is
Yeah.
rest day for you?
Um, it's more like a active rest, but Saturdays I'm usually just teaching, and I get to beat up on my students. So that's fun. Always fun.
Yeah, active rest. I like that. Nice way to word it. And second question, you being a young guy in the younger generation of fighters, who are some of your fighters that you like to watch to either emulate their style or maybe bring some things, some techniques from their game into yours?
Um, I would say uh my favorite fighters are Marvin Hagler is definitely one, my favorite boxer. He's his switch punching is like something I've taken for myself because I can fight in both stances. That's one big thing I took from training at Makito, even as a little kid, is to fight in both stances.
Yeah.
Um, Marvin Hagler, and then my favorite fighter is Andy Hug. I love his K1 fights. I love his axe kick. They just gave a karate guy some boxing gloves, and he was like, just got after it. So those are my
That
favorites.
that's awesome, man. And neither one of those guys are MMA fighters, and neither one of those guys are part of your generation, man. They're part of the older generation of fighters, which young guys like you, man. That's respectable that you still follow those guys and you look up to those guys and you follow their stuff. Because I thought you were gonna say somebody from a newer fighter from this generation or a UFC fighter, right? But Andy Hug and Marvin Hagler, man, they were before my generation, and they were incredible fighters, and definitely some things that you can take away from those guys, and to bring into your game as well. So that's respectable and very nice that you follow those guys. Now, a quote or a motto. I always like to kind of collect something from you guys, maybe something that you've read or something your coaches have passed along to you that has empowered you, and maybe you can share it with our Cagezilla Unchained audience here and empower them.
One thing I always tell myself, I end up telling my younger students, is this one quote that Bruce Lee says, which is to don't don't ever talk negatively about yourself, even as a joke, because your body can't tell the difference. Um, Words are energy that casts spells. That's why it's called spelling. So,
Yeah.
what do you say to yourself? Like if you tell yourself that I'm tired or I'm weak, you're gonna end up being tired or weak. But if you always tell yourself I'm strong, I'm the best, I can do anything, then you'll end up doing whatever you believe.
That's awesome, man. That is a very, very important and significant quote. I remember it from Bruce Lee. They don't talk negatively to yourself because your self-talk, right? And they always talk about have positive self-talk. And what you say to yourself, a lot of times you begin to believe, right? You don't know that you can't, and you don't know the difference, right? In a sense, right? So like that's why if you smile, if you tell yourself I'm the greatest, I'm the strongest, you will start to believe that. And if the opposite, if you tell yourself, I'm tired, I'm out of shape, I can't do this, I need to go lay down, you will also start to believe that. So yeah, man, what a powerful motto, I would say, for anybody to keep in their brains, which is how you talk to yourself is probably one of the more important things in your life, right? Like that will carry you through the good times and the bad, man. And yeah, I love that one. I love that one. Well, hey, Antonio, you got a super bright future ahead of you, man. I'm really looking forward to seeing you back inside of the Cagezilla cage. Give us a way of our audience that we can follow your journey, that we can show you a little love online, whether that be you or your team or anyone you want to give a shout out to. Go ahead and do that now.
Guys can follow me at Fuller_kicks on Instagram. You guys can also follow Capital MMA Fairfax and Capital MMA Lorton if you guys want to show some love there. And yeah, appreciate you.
Yeah. And then we'll give you a follow. I definitely follow you, and looking forward to following you on your upcoming journey in martial arts and in MMA now. So yeah, man, I'm really looking forward to you on this upcoming card. I hope training and everything continues to go awesome for you and you stay healthy. Please give my best regards and big hug to your dad when you see him next. And thanks once again for joining us here on Cagezilla Unchained.
Thank you for having me.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, there you have it. Antonio Fuller in an exciting featherweight bout against our very own Honest Abe coming up here. Zach Vincent coming up here on Cagezilla84, April 26th. Make sure you guys are picking up tickets at CagezillaTickets.com. We have tons of exciting fights on this card, and this is just one of them. We'll see you guys all very soon. Much love and respect. Signing off.